Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Monday, August 29th, and this is the MLB DFS video for today. So in today's video, we'll be taking a quick look back at yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about my core plays for today. It is a 6-game slate overall, so a little bit smaller slate. Should be a pretty interesting one overall. And then going over to my article over at WeBetATS.com and talking about my top GPP stacks for today as well. But before we get started, I do want to apologize. Yesterday, I accidentally uploaded the audio video file from the 27th. It came up on the 28th. Fortunately, there was a lot of people that did see that, and I didn't notice it at first, so I do just want to apologize for that. Shout out to William, who did leave a message saying, hey, this is like the one from yesterday, so I tried to upload the one for the 28th real quick. Got it up about an hour before lock, so hopefully you guys were able to check that out as well. Left a link to it, and then I was able to unlist the previous video. But hopefully you guys got on track with that yesterday, and I do apologize for any inconvenience there. But with that being said, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. At the pitcher position, we went Noah Syndergaard at $8,900. Going against the Pittsburgh Pirates, looked like a pretty good matchup. Just did not end up pitching well, so he only got 17 points, so he was a miss. If you had a better pitcher yesterday with the core that I did have here, you had a pretty good day, though. We're just going to say that right off the bat. Then we had Jeff McNeil at second base. You could also play him in the outfield, $2,800. He got the 3 points, so I did give him a push. Not anybody that killed your lineup, but not anybody that put it over the top at the same time. Carlos Correa at $3,000 got 12.5 points, so he was a hit. Then we had Heimer Candelario, one of the guys I was kind of hyping up yesterday, $2,100, got to 31.2 points. He was a hit. The second overall first baseman on yesterday's slate, the third overall third baseman on yesterday's slate, and one of the better cheap value plays overall. And then last but not least, we have Mike Trout in our lineup at $4,200. Got to 31.4 points, so he was a hit. He was the 6th overall outfielder yesterday. So a pretty solid day minus the pitcher yesterday. If you went with a better pitcher, if you ended up on Max Scherzer somehow, you had a pretty good lineup altogether here. So definitely a lot of different ways that you could have cashed with this core yesterday, whether you pick some better bats or if you switch off the pitcher from Noah Syndergaard to somebody else. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to the core picks for today. So we're going to start off at the pitcher position once again, and the pitcher position is not very strong today. There's only 6 games today, so 12 pitchers overall. A lot of these guys don't have very much experience at the MLB level. Some of them are kind of spot starters, so it's kind of hard picking guys today. I'm just paying all the way up for Corbin Burnes, $11,100, averaging 40 fantasy points per game on the season. Pitched against Pittsburgh twice so far this season. There was one good start and then one kind of like middle of the road start. I believe that's a game where he had some control issues as well. So not going to take too much into that overall. He's probably the safest pitcher and maybe the one with the highest upside on today's slate overall. I expect him to be very, very popular though. And then we're going to move down to second base with Colton Wong, $2,700. Really starting to pick it up again. He's kind of been more of a platoon guy as of late, which is just kind of unfortunate to see. But they're going against Jared Eichhoff, who is a righty today. He's only made one start so far this year, and he gave up 10 runs in that start, and that was only against the Cubs, who are not that good of an offense overall. So definitely a lot of upside here with these Brewers hitters today. And Colton Wong is 1 for 2 versus Eichhoff in his career. Limited history there, but it is still a little bit of history at that. Then we move down to third base with Luis Urias at $2,500, averaging just under 9 fantasy points per game. Still going against Jared Eichhoff. He's 2 for 2 with 1 home run versus him, so some pretty good history there. Definitely interested in a lot of these Brewers hitters once again today. Then we're going to move down to shortstop and Carlos Correa, obviously the guy that filled in yesterday in my core picks. Eloy Jimenez was in there initially, but Carlos Correa ended up being the guy. Had a pretty solid start. He's $3,000, averaging over 9.5 fantasy points. Goes against the Boston Red Sox, and there's Brian Bayo pitching today for the Red Sox. Not too strong of a start to his rookie season, so definitely have some interest in these Twins hitters once again today. And then last but not least, we're going with another Brewer. I know there's 4 of them on here now. You guys are probably going to hate it if you're not a Brewers fan, but Christian Yelich, $3,200, 10.5 fantasy points, 7 for his last 10 in his last 2 games. He's got 3 multi-hit games in his last 6 games, had a hit in 5 of those last 6 games. He's starting to heat up once again, going against a pretty lackluster pitcher in Jared Eichhoff. Definitely want to take advantage of these Brewers hitters today, including Christian Yelich. He is 1 for 3 versus Eichhoff in his career. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that do have listed here, you have $12,500 remaining, just over $3,100 per player. So you could potentially play up for another player. Probably better off if you're kind of going with a more balanced approach today overall, though. But feel free to mix and match. Maybe you slip a different pitcher in there instead of Corbin Burnes. There are some guys with some upside today, but most of the other starters have a little bit more risk to them overall. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my article over at WeBetATS.com and talk about my top GPP stacks for today. So the stacks that I do have for today, the Phillies are up here once again. half the days. Like the last week, it seems like they've been disappointing us. But they do go against Madison Bumgarner today. Some of these hitters do have pretty decent history versus them. Originally, it was supposed to be Zach Gallen, who they had even better history versus, but Bumgarner's making the start for whatever reason. It seems like they're pushing Gallen back. See if that's an advantage for this Phillies team today or not. Then we have the Diamondbacks on the opposite side of that matchup. Some of their hitters have hit lefties pretty good so far this season. It's Ranger Suarez today. He's kind of been hit or miss throughout the whole season. And some of these Diamondbacks hitters have hit him pretty well in the past. So definitely have some interest there. And maybe a stack that's not going to draw a lot of ownership overall today, although it probably should. And then obviously the Brewers one talked about a lot about in the course pick. Jared Eichhoff pitching today. Second start of the year. First start of the year, he got -5 fantasy points. He gave up 10 runs in, I believe, 4 1/3 innings versus the Cubs. And the Cubs are not a great offensive team, so Brewers definitely should be able to take advantage of him. Once upon a time, Eichhoff was a promising young pitcher, but then some injuries ruined his career. Good to see him back at the major league level, but still probably a guy that's going to get lit up today. And then last but not least, we have the Minnesota Twins going against Brian Bayo. No history here, but some of these Twins hitters have been kind of hot lately. The Twins have been swinging the bats pretty well, and they've been facing some weaker pitchers as well. And Bayo is a rookie, hasn't had too much success at the MLB level yet. You could also throw the Blue Jays up there for a team to stack as well. They're also facing a relatively young pitcher making his second career start in Assad for the Cubs, and obviously, there's not going to be any history there for the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays have a pretty potent lineup overall. So 5 pretty good stacks today. Pick one that you like, mix and match, play a couple different ones if that's something you want to do as well. But with that being said, these are my core 5 picks as well as top GPP stacks for today, August 29th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's someone from my core 5 picks, whether it's someone from my top GPP stacks, or whether it's a completely different player you guys think I missed. Definitely interested in hearing what you had to say. But with that being said, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Mainly MLB DFS at this point in time, but we're getting really close to NFL season. So during NFL and NBA regular seasons, I'll be covering those 2 sports as well. And then with that being said, if you're a newer current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily MLB DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.